welcome Anatomical Gangsters. Are you ready to immerse yourself into a symphony of healing? Well, today we're going to dive deep into the transformative power of sonic vibration healing with my dear friend, sound healer extraordinaire, shaman and medicine man, Lloyd Leary. As many of you guys might know, on top of being the host of Anatomical Gangster, my day job is that I am the founder of the Melt Method, which is a simple self-care technique that I've been sharing for 25 years to help people transform their bodies from the inside out. And for the last 20 years, I've been hosting melt retreats across the globe. And Mark, this July, this is going to be my last US-based melt event until at least 2027. I really wanted to make it special. So if you've been feeling burnt out, you're overwhelmed, you're kind of stuck in a stress state that feels like something's lodged deep in your body, I want you to imagine reawakening your natural resilience, melt away tension, and experience a profound journey that harmonizes your body and soul. My dear friend Lloyd and I are hosting a 5-day, 4-night retreat in Naples, Florida, where the science-backed melt method is going to meet the soul-stirring power of sound healing. And in today's episode, we're going to be diving into this upcoming melt and sound healing retreat happening July 18th to the 22nd and explore how the synergy of sound and melt can literally unlock deep healing and transformation. So stay tuned to discover why this retreat isn't something you should think about. It's an experience you need to claim for yourself. And if you're new to the podcast, please subscribe, share this one with your friends, and leave a comment because it really helps me reach people who I think need this the most. So if you're ready to melt away some stress, bask in harmonic vibrations, and reconnect with yourself, let's talk to Lloyd Leary and learn a little bit about sound healing and how these incredible harmonic sounds can have profound effect on our body's energy and well-being. And here is Lloyd Leary. I've got my first question to you is really what first drew you to the healing power of sound. So that's kind of where we're going to start this, if that's cool.
Well, I just want to say one thing, Sue.
Tell me. Hi,
I met
Lloyd.
you, I think I met you in 2006 or 2007. So it's approximately about 18, 19 years. What I want to share on the line with all of our listeners is this. I'm in my mid 60s and I feel like a teenager.
Mhm.
After I met you and started doing this work, the melt work, I raced on the track at 50 years of age. I played my first instrument. I'm still learning. I'm still growing. I'm 64 and I move like a 20-year-old.
You do
And
like a jackrabbit.
I've been incorporating the melt method in all of my work. Absolutely.
I
You
love that.
you changed how I was living my life. And I'll be honest with you, I haven't had pain since I met you. Not 1 ounce of pain.
I love that.
Imagine being in your 60s with no pain. I feel
I
like
don't
I'm just
think people in their 60s know what you're talking about.
so. What's interesting about our journey, what I want to share with the listeners is that, listen, I don't know how many people you have doing your method that you have under your tutelage. How many practitioners do you have, by the way?
About 3,500 worldwide.
So, folks, what happened was once I left the JCC, I kind of embarked upon my own journey. And sound came into the equation, I would say about 15 years ago, I started working with sound. But no, actually before that, because when I was in the military 45 years ago, I worked with radars and satellites, where I worked with wave propagation. So that was my understanding with sound. And then when I started working with sound in the body, because what I would do, Sue, I would just play things like singing bowls and stuff, and I wasn't even playing the bowls at the time. And what I found is that it put people into a deep state of relaxation before I even worked on them. What I would do is I would have them in the room, and while they're waiting for me to come in to start the work, they were already relaxed. So what I realized is that I didn't even have to work as hard. So this is what's interesting about doing sound. And I like the fact that you say sonic. You see, there are a lot of sound practitioners out there. And the sound is, it sounds nice. It's kind of like elevator music. But one thing about what I'm going to bring to the table is this. What I use is amplitude. Amplitude equates to pressure. What's actually happening during you administering your protocols and people learning them, what the sound will do as an adjunct, it will actually create an internal massage. Also, stimulate the parasympathetic function, which you know as well as I do. You can't heal unless you're relaxed.
That's
So
right.
we're talking about really the ultimate marriage. So what people are experiencing, the combination of the two, they're literally learning to melt, learning to connect with their body, and having outer body experiences simultaneously.
Yeah, and I mean, we did this. Lloyd came to one of the events that I did in Utah last year, and every year we do a summer retreat. And the event space that I usually do it in is in Utah is being renovated, and we just couldn't find a place. And so I thought, let's do it down here in Naples, Florida. And I found this beautiful resort, the Hyatt House. It is brand new. It's a 3-year-old hotel. It's beautiful. There's a gorgeous pool in the back. We are on the intercoastal. And I thought, we got to get Lloyd to come back and let's do another one and let's do something really powerful. And I said to Lloyd, maybe we could do one of the sound healing sessions in the pool. And he was like, I love that. And let's also do one at the ocean because we're only just a mile away from the ocean. So I just think that this might actually literally transform people's lives. So, how would you say, because you're doing so much and I witnessed such transformation in Utah. How does you've got singing bowls, you've got a gong, and of course the didgeridoo, and these things create such profound effects on our body's energy and well-being. How do you explain that to people? Why does it work?
Well, I want to share with you like this, and I know you fully understand this. You see, a lot of us think that we just listen with our ears. That's not true.
Mhm.
Body is comprised of 61 to 69% water, and the fourth stage of water is called easy water. It has to do with surface tension. So I'll give an example. I was on the subway about 2 hours before I got to this place right now talking to you, and I remember there was 5 or 6 people on the train with headphones, and they fell asleep from the vibration. It wasn't from the sound that they heard through their ears. Their body was receiving the mechanical pressure that stimulated their parasympathetic function. Sound is invasive because the skin is the largest receiving organ on the body. And
That's
so
right. And I mean, even just being in the subway, it's kind of like when your baby's screaming and crying, you put them in a carriage and you take them for a walk, and the vibration and the motion sets them to sleep, right? It's sedative.
dude, let me tell you what happened. When I got on the train to come uptown after my session, I got on the train and there was 3 young people crying on the train. I stood in the middle of the train. I started playing the didgeridoo. Within 30, 40 seconds, those children were sleeping.
Mhm.
Sleeping. Then I found a couple of people. There were people who stayed on the train past their stop to hear the sound. When I got off at my stop, people gave me a standing ovation on the train. And then I gave them a listen.
I love that. And Lloyd, I've heard you mention so many times, and I mean, again, I've witnessed true transformation. Can you share another moment when you witnessed a transformative change in somebody through sound healing? I mean, you've told me so many stories.
Well, one thing is this stress, which a lot of Western people experience on a daily basis, constricts the body. When you're exposed to sub 100 hertz at the right amplitude, it actually causes your body to completely relax. It stimulates, and the didgeridoo and the gong together. The didgeridoo is kind of like a mosquito, and what it does in the brain, the mechanical pressure, as it stimulates the brain, it releases DMT, and what happens is it turns off your thoughts. It literally It's like having someone massage the inside of your skull. That's exactly what it feels like. It
Mm.
entrails your brain and puts you into a state of tranquility no matter what your age is, no matter what your ailments are. Even animals succumb to the loving power of the didgeridoo and the gong.
Yes, indeed.
Its hands are actually going right through your body. Here's another powerful aspect of those instruments. In Australia, they use the didgeridoo actually to reset the anodes of the heart after heart surgery. So the things that people experience as soon as I hit the base of the didgeridoo, they feel a massaging of their heart. It is a universal connector. You remember, Sue, remember when we did that first sound healing in that large area? How everyone
Mhm.
difficult for everyone to leave? It creates a synergy. Not only that, it creates lifelong experiences. Live,
Yes. Yes,
people,
I think having that's kind of the power that I cannot replicate online. When you come into a room where everyone is there for the greater good of healing and getting into their bodies and connecting, kind of disconnecting from the world, disconnecting from their phones, from their tablets, from their lives for just a minute, and they get back to the root of their own spirit and soul, and they really settle into it. What I see is a room full of all different frequencies, and adding melt and the didgeridoo and the gongs, you can almost see it, but you can feel the wave start to just balance out the frequency of everyone.
you know what it's like? It's like going to the ocean and seeing ripples in the water, and all of a sudden you see smooth waves. And what's
Yeah.
wild is when you have a large group of people together and they're in close physical proximity, what happens is the wave propagates through everyone. Everyone
Mhm.
becomes part of the soup. I'm telling you, it's the most profound thing. I remember when you and Scott, that beautiful man, was laying down in front of the gong, and listen, it looked like
Ah,
looked like it
he
looked
was
like
his whole so he's talking about my boyfriend Scott had never been to a melt retreat. I always find it fascinating. All of my best friends, my closest colleagues have never come to a melt event. It's like almost I don't even get that, right? Like they've never been, they can always talk about like that they know melt or whatever, but really they've never really experienced it in this way. And Scott came to the retreat, and when we had done some melt, and then we all laid down and we were doing a meditation with Lloyd doing the gong and the didgeridoo, and he really worked a lot on the gong. And I remember kind of laying next to Scott and hearing his breath start to increase, like almost like he was having a panic attack. And then he finally just
let go.
settled, he let go and he settled in. And later he would say to me, God, it was like I just started, I almost wanted to stand up. I didn't know what was happening to me, but then suddenly I just gave into it. And he cried. It was just this whole moment of release. And since then, we went to we also walked in the labyrinth, and I watched him take old ideas and old narratives and old stories and just give them to the ether, give them to the mountains of Utah. And that is what I want to do at this event, is to give people an understanding of the power of what's going on in their body. And that's why fascia has always been so fascinating to me, is because it is the fourth state of matter. It is the
Yes,
crystalline
it is.
matrix. It
It's
has a
majority of
harmonic.
water. You're
That's it.
absolutely right. You know
Bound
what?
water.
You know what's funny, Sue? Africans call water God because with no water, there's no life.
That's right. What are you going to do without it?
Right. And I want you to think about this. We spend the first 9 months of our life submerged in salt water, listening to a frequency of 60 to 70 hertz, listening to the mother's heartbeat.
Mm, yeah.
That's the sound of the didgeridoo. So when you expose people to these frequencies, it takes them home. It's a reset. So imagine being in that melt journey, sound blast with us, and coming out, remembering your birth and feeling rejuvenated. I'm telling you, it's one thing to listen to sound through the electrical system, but to be in person, it is something that you will never ever forget for the rest of your life. And I'm gonna share
That-
something else with you. When you expose yourself to those frequencies for an extended period of time, every time you hear something close to it, your body goes into that tranquil state. We're talking about experiencing something and having the effects of it for years after you do it. It is
That's
really,
right.
really a
Yeah,
profound experience.
it is. It's a reset in the nervous system. And, we're launching a new product called the Melt Fascia Hydrator, and it is a low vibration frequency device that I teach people how to do lymphatic drainage with 40 hertz frequency, which is kind of the sweet spot in vibration against the
That's
body
right.
that
That's right.
stimulates lymph, and then the 70 and 90 hertz frequency to stimulate the fluid perfusion of fascia. And I have to tell you, the changes that I feel in the tone of my tissue since I've been using this device kind of blows my mind a little bit. And I've incorporated things like my journey box and the vibration therapy into it, the sound healing into it. And it just sets me to a place where it doesn't matter what stressful moment is going on in my life.
Hey,
Like it melts
something
away.
just something just came to mind. The Sue Hisman travel kit.
Yeah, right.
Absolutely.
That's
Hey,
right.
I can't go on vacation without it. You pull out your toolkit and listen, it's like having your life rituals every day. Every morning, I spend 30 minutes listening to sub 100 hertz. And when I leave my home, my body is vibrating. And my body vibrates throughout the day. That's the home note. It's the same thing that I experience when I go to sleep at night. I hear that hum, it's tranquil. Not only that, when you hum yourself, it actually produces nitric oxide. Nitric oxide is a vasodilator,
That's right.
increasing blood flow to the periphery. So listen, there's so many aspects to this opportunity to go to this thing and learn and listen, learn about your body, how it works, develop life rituals that can carry you easily into your 80s and 90s. Imagine being 80 and functioning how you did when you were 40, because that's exactly
Yeah.
where we'll be. Because I can
Yeah.
tell you this, Miss Hitzman, I remember being in the desert, 105 degrees. You're like, oh shit, I have a class in 1 hour. And all I saw was ponytail and smoke behind you like the fucking roadrunner. So listen, I'm honored to be a part of this journey. You're a beast. I feel awesome. I'm in my 60s. You're going to live forever. Listen, folks, this is a win-win situation. I'll be honest, something like this should cost 10 grand. It's worth every single cent. Here's the other thing. You're going to commune with like-minded people, people that are lighthearted, and people from all over the globe.
That's right. That's right.
No,
I think that's the beauty of our community, is that we are a community. I mean, if anything has ever kept me going, it's the miracles that I've seen. I've seen people go through cancer treatment and Parkinson's and fibromyalgia and chronic fatigue and find relief in their own angst and have a settling in their body that allows them to be peaceful even in the worst of times. And I know that even with the didgeridoo, you've worked on people with cancer and all of these other disorders and watched transformation happen. I mean, it's incredible what the sound healing can do.
true. I remember, I think it was the second sound event we did in Utah, and I remember people the next morning coming into the dining area, and they were talking about how things were coming out of their body from just one sound healing.
Yeah.
So imagine being bathed in it for 2 or 3 times during that week.
I remember the first day. I remember when I woke up in the morning going, God, my BO stinks. I stank. And I just thought, oh, and I remember also like I almost had this bizarre film on my teeth, like it was coming out
It's
of
coming from your gums. That's where it was
gum.
coming from because of the vibrational pressure.
Yeah,
Sound is mechanical pressure. That's
that's right.
exactly what it is.
Yeah, it was like, I mean, it was like it just emitted from my body. And then the next day, it was like it just dissipated. And in each session, I felt more grounded, more centered, more meditative in so many ways, but also powerful. I felt more stable. I felt just more me. And I think that that's the beauty of all of the sound healing, and the didgeridoo is so unique, and the gong that you play, the types of tools that you use are so completely unique. And you sort of said it, like, I get it, there's a lot of people who do like kind of airy fairy sound healing. It's all the, these crystal bowls, but crystal bowls are not harmonic. Some of them are just a single note, right?
They're a single, as a matter of fact, a crystal bowl can injure you. There's a lot of people that have jumped into this game without understanding. The metal bowls are mixed with 6 to 7 different metals. So each bowl has multiple harmonics. So you can play a singing bowl at a very high amplitude. It will not hurt your anatomy. A crystal bowl will pierce and destroy villi in your ear.
Wow. Wow.
Here's the other thing. What I've done, my instruments are tuned to the organs of the body. So while I'm moving around and playing on people, I can affect where I sense there's a challenge in a specific organ. I can actually target that organ.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing. Sue,
That is
let me tell
powerful.
you, when I got back from Utah, I mean, from Cali, and I started working with a cancer patient. Can I say this online? Can I talk
Yeah,
about it?
talk about it.
This individual, when I met them before I left, didn't tell me that they had cancer. So I had been talking to them for 3 months. When I got back, I started doing touch therapy with fasting and the didgeridoo. I'll never forget it. I'm playing the didgeridoo, and Sue, she had mole coming through her skin.
Oof.
So let
Oof.
me tell you about it, Sue. I worked with her for 3 months. 10 days ago. So the cancer was in her lungs, in her liver, and she had lesions on her kidneys. She had a PET scan 9 days ago. She's got 2 lesions left in her lungs, and that's it.
Wow. Wow.
I'm going to leave it at that.
I mean, really, I think that's just it. Is I know that some of this sounds like completely crazy, and it really, I get why, but I just know that, again, fascia possesses a frequency. So does every organ. So does every cell. And creating a balancing, a ripple effect in the fascial tissues is like creating a sense of loving frequency back to all of the things that we can structurally define. It's the biological fabric of our body. And the beauty, I think, of melt with sound healing is that melt is designed to rehydrate tissue. And if you kind of think of the fluids in fascia like a river, daily living's kind of laying sediment down in our river's flow. And that sediment alters the vibrational frequency, the tuning of this tissue. And hydrating fascia brings more of that flow, and then add to that this healing property of a didgeridoo, of true sound healing, sonic vibration healing. And it is literally like your cells are getting a hug. Your
You know
entire
what?
body feels different.
Not, it's like giving them a hug and plugging them in. Let me tell you
Plugging them
something.
in. Yeah.
Sue, I work with people who are not moving, and you understand, the body frequency is based on voltage.
Mm-hmm.
I've worked with people who can't move, and when I play the didgeridoo, all of a sudden they have energy. It charges the body. We are electromagnetic.
Neuroelectrochemical, right?
Hey, listen. Frequency moving through the body produces scalar waves. These scalar waves create an electrical grid, electrical potential around the cell.
Mm.
This is free energy. Listen,
Yes. Yes. James
and
Oshman's book, Jim Oshman has a book, uh, Energy Medicine. And he talks about, I always think of fascia like a mix between a superconductor and a semiconductor, but in so many ways, on a mechanical level, on a on a structural level, it's a semiconductor. This thing
Yes,
is
it is.
connecting, transporting vibration, frequency, nutrient, waste through the body and out of the body. That's what it's designed to do.
Electrical charging, waste removal. The mechanical pressure also stimulates the lymphatic system so it can move toxins out. I'm telling you, it's a win-win situation. And
That's
you
right.
don't need any drugs. None.
That's the
No
amazing thing,
drugs.
no
Drug
drugs,
free.
and you come out of there
Exactly.
like you did have some sort of a psychedelic journey with 5-MeO DMT. Yet
Hey, hey.
it's because those harmonics stimulate the pineal gland. They stimulate DMT in your own brain. You have it, and now you're charging it. And I think that's freaking powerful.
So we can take them on a medicine journey without the medicine.
I
Well,
love
so
that.
hold on a second. That's melt, sound, and a journey to the ethos.
That's right. I think that is exactly what I am. This is what Lloyd and I are setting out. I mean, there's all sorts of retreats that people can take. There's retreats all over the world. Everybody does retreats. And what I can tell you is, I mean, I've been doing retreats for 2 decades, and every single retreat that I have is different because the people who show up are different and what people need is different. And I'm different. I know at almost 55 here, it's like, hey, my view of the human experience has continued to refine and grow into this, very, I think I just have a deep appreciation for being human. And I know the difficulty of it. And I know that people struggle and that people have stress. And I know what it's like to feel hopeless and helpless. I know. And coming out of that is hard to do by yourself. And this really is an opportunity to have a guided journey to freedom in yourself. And I think that that's powerful.
And the other aspect of it is developing the rituals that you can take along with you for your journey.
That's right.
Listen, a ritual is self-love. That's what it's about. You
That's
have
it.
these things in place and you just keep evolving. Let me tell you something. I still feel like that child learning every single day. And as long as you have access and you can use your body, you stay a child and you're having a human experience. That's what this is about. You
Mhm.
keep evolving. I think boredom is what kills us, what ages us. And the
Yeah,
fact that we can continue to learn and be able to utilize it. Because listen, I know you can get out there and run 5 or 6 miles easy. I can.
certainly.
And we're not special. We
No.
just we just have self-love. We have the right rituals in
Yes.
place. And
Yes.
now we're ready. And now we're sharing them with the rest of the universe.
That's right. Well said. That's so well said. That is exactly right. I mean, it really is. I think it's a fascinating opportunity to do something that's just more meaningful in my mind, that really gives people, like you say, a practice that can be carried through their whole life. And what I know about sound healing and the type of sonic sound healing we're talking about here is that it's sort of like it ignites some energy in your body that opens a door that you can just continue to walk through. And I think it really is like it sort of supercharges you and shifts you from where you were to doing it this way. I think it clears some of the chatter in the mind. I think it can change the way people are thinking,
It quiets your mind,
quiets the
especially in
mind.
a society where people are overstimulated.
That's right.
Understand, if you want to control an organism, have them thinking too much.
Yeah,
If they quiet their mind, they make better decisions, they have more options, and that's what this does. These rituals you have in place allow you to start your day on the right foot, and it also can help you relax at the end of the day. Because here in the Western culture, people wind down drinking wine and they
hmm,
caffeinate up. But imagine being able to do that naturally without the side effects. And
that's it.
that's what melt and sound will introduce you and teach you as well.
That's right. Beautiful. You are nailing exactly. I 1000% approve that message. And
No,
I also think that what is, I think, super unique is, I mean, I have people who have been melting for years, and then they finally come to a live melt event. Like they've been doing it online, they have done it with an instructor, but I'm the creator of this method. And there is something so unique when you are standing in the authentic creator's method in a live setting with a true shaman, healer, a body worker, somebody who can kind of see through you. It changes the experience of really how you experience yourself. I think it allows you to be the observer in the process of observation, to observe your thoughts, your feelings, your beliefs, etc. And I think that's powerful.
Well, it's funny that you said that because here's the deal. What we're doing is quantum work. You
Yes,
see, the first level, of course, is the physical body. The next level is being the observer of that physical body.
that's right.
What you will learn at this retreat are the last two steps, becoming the observer of oneself, being able to alter that, and then becoming the programmer, which is the architect.
That's right. And what a
You
leap that
see,
is. Mind-blowing leap.
absolutely, because what happens is you learn to operate in your heart source because the heart is not a pump.
That's
It's
right.
an energy source. And what
Spinning.
it does,
It's a
when you
vortex.
let go and you have no emotional attachments, the heart creates your world. Then you are the architect. And that's what both Sue and myself do. We manifest by operating in the heart source. So when you come to Naples, you are going to get the goods, bottom line.
Yes, 5 days. So we have 5 days, 4 nights together at this retreat. And each day we do melt sessions, incorporating sound throughout, building through the sound, bringing more of it in as the retreat goes on. We also are going to be doing, again, a sound healing, not just in the room, but if weather permits, we'll be out at the pool doing a floating session in the pool, which is going to mind
Can I
blow.
add a little bit to that about the pool?
Yes.
So Sue, before I actually came to Utah, I was in Palm Springs in California, in Desert Hot Springs. I was in several of the pools with the didgeridoo at the rim of the pool, and people were walking in and out of the pool with their arms coming out, raising their hands, saying that they were anointed. The whole pool was vibrating at the frequency of the didgeridoo. As a matter of fact, there was so many people. People were waiting to get in the pool. People were being greedy and staying in the pool. So
Yeah.
what hopefully we can do in Naples is do events where people are floating, have their hands and feet in the pool, blindfold them as they receive the frequency. This is going to be something that's going to be absolutely unforgettable.
Unforgettable. And that's another thing with these retreats, these aren't hundreds of people. These are small, intimate retreats. These are retreats where you will connect with people, you will connect with the people around you. If you're like, oh, I don't know, I'm an introvert, I'm not sure. The welcoming energy of our community is like nothing you've ever seen. And I really think that that will be so powerful to do it in the water. We're also hoping to get out to the ocean and do a sound healing on the beach. And also, again, another experience to really feel the frequency of the ocean and sound healing. These can be ways to, I think, break that shield that so many of us have around our hearts that has actually, like the pericardium, this heart protector, has kind of crept its way up to be a voice protector also, that we are losing our voice, we're losing the trust in what we say.
Well, and I can always tell when I meet people just by how they speak if they're restricted. And
Yeah.
that's another thing. What the didgeridoo does, because it relaxes and puts us into a parasympathetic function, what I find is that people's voices go from here to being generated in the solar plexus.
Yeah.
And the voice starts to warm like this.
I love that. I love that. I think that this is one of these moments. I've had so many experiences in sound healing where I don't know, it just shifts some part of my frequency where my eyes are crying, my body is weeping, and I think to myself, am I cry like what am I crying? You know, like I don't even have anything in my mind, but I feel like that's really the beauty of becoming the observer in this process of observation and watching this aspect of our existence. We get so hung up in the physical, and people are always telling you, you know, oh, you got to get rid of the wrinkles, and oh, your crepey skin, and your cellulite, and you're too fat, and you're too skinny, and you know, the this and that. And I think to myself, we put so much value on the physical, and we never really think about the emotional, spiritual, psychological, and ethereal aspects of our physical form. And awakening to these regions to allow that heart math to vibrate, to be sonic, to express its true nature, I think is something most of us don't know what to do, or don't even know about. And I think a lot of our natural, I think the true essence of ourselves can oftentimes be underwater, almost buried by all of the layers of experiences that we've had. And I love Besser Vanderkolk's book, just about the body keeps score. And while we might long
That's right.
forget, right, we might long forget all sorts of experiences, but something that I know that I've seen in the sound healing from when we were in Utah, were people talking about conversations and things that happened to them in childhood that they had never really expressed before. And I said, that is what we call a somatic release, is that the
That's
body
right.
finally allows it to come out, because the mind at this stage of our lives needs to know that in this instance, whatever the past trauma was, that we're safe in this moment, and that can't hurt us anymore because it's a past story, and we can change the narrative and change the story. And I think that's what sound healing and melt can do.
Oh, I just want to piggyback that beautiful thing you just said, because what happens is we come outside of the womb without any traumas. We go through life. And what's powerful, what's going to be really powerful about this immersion is this: those frequencies will take you back before those things happen to reset your mind and put you back right where you need to be. I'm
That's right.
telling you, I I live like a child every day, Sue, and I've had pain. But you know what? I'm back where I was when I started. And every day, like I have my rituals in place, and I get to play hard every day. I play just as hard now in my 60s as I did when I was 20.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I have a little gray, but my body is still a baby.
I love that. I love that. So, Lloyd, if you had to tell somebody, if somebody's on the fence, they're like, yeah, but I don't know, you know, coming down in the middle of summer. I kind of felt like it was like this is our summer break event that we do. But if somebody's still on the fence, what do you think you could tell them that makes this immersion different, and how can it catalyze this life-changing shift?
Listen, we all go through struggles, and we're always going to have things we need to do and things we don't have time for. But let me tell you something. If you can be a part of something that's going to enhance you, enhance your life for the rest of your life, it would behoove you to take advantage of that. We're not
That's
just
right.
talking about having an experience like going to the movies. We're talking about enhancing your physical capabilities, your ability to rest, your ability to recover. We're talking about leveling up. You cannot put a price tag on this, Sue.
That's right.
You
Yeah.
can't.
No,
And not only
no.
that,
Yeah.
Naples is so freaking beautiful.
It is, you know, down here, it is kind of like a little hidden gem down in Florida. We are right on the water, and right where we are, there's where the hotel is. It's in walking distance to this area called Fifth Avenue. And Fifth Avenue is this quaint art gallery crazy cuisine, everything from Mediterranean to Italian, Spanish, French, Chinese. There's so many great restaurants down here. And we also have the beautiful botanical gardens. Our Naples Zoo is down here. There's really so much to do. And our beaches are white sand beaches and the softest sand you will ever walk on. It really is an amazing area that if you are thinking, do I want to go to Florida? Really, this part of Florida is magical. And we have really priced this event at a very reasonable cost. It includes all the Melt products. It includes a subscription for 30 days on Melt on Demand so that you can actually get your Melt practice started before you even show up at the event. And we're going to be doing some really special treatments. We'll also do a treatment with the new fascia hydrator, which launches this July also. So you guys will be in the insider loop of this new product to be able to experience the fascia hydrator with the sound healing. I think it's going to be mind-blowing.
And I will be also offering private sound events for people who want to do in their own small, intimate groups as well. And I will be providing body work as well. So
Beautiful.
listen, this is an opportunity for a 4 to 5 day freaking love fest.
That's
Bottom
right.
line.
That's
Bottom
it.
line. And we're
That's
not just
it.
talking about getting love from us, learning about self-love, because that's really what the journey is about.
That's right. Self-love, changing your self-talk, self-honor yourself, self-appreciate, all of these things. I think that we instilled that. And honestly, Lloyd, I cannot wait to witness the transformation and the changes and the miracles that I know we are going to help people embody and find for themselves, because that's the kind of space we offer.
It's a modern day Woodstock, baby.
That's right.
You know what I called it this morning when I woke up? A melt float.
A melt float. That's it. It's going to be outrageous. Well, so listen, those of you guys who are listening, if you're like, I can't do it this year, Sue, do it next year. I'm sorry. Clear out your schedule and come. This is it. I don't know if I will actually ever do any events for the general public in the next couple of years in the US. I have done so many, and I have other things that I think I want to create. Yeah, and go and do. And so this gives everybody an opportunity also to get hands-on touch cueing and refine your own skills and knowledge of self-care in a way that you just can't get online. So don't think, just feel your way towards us. Share this with a friend. Come with your best friend. Come with the person you love. Come with the person that you actually think needs to change, and watch how your energy changes, which will help them transform as well. I love
I
it.
call it the collective love fest. Let me tell you something else that's interesting. When people experience something like this collectively, when they go back to their remote areas of where they are, the connection will still be there.
Yes. That's one big thing with our community is once you're in the community, you're in the community for life. And we are always accessible. I am one of the most accessible human beings, no matter what you think. I'm always on social media. People are always reaching out to me privately. We create private pages for people to connect with us. And beyond the 5 days, Lloyd is saying it, this becomes a lifetime connection that you now have with two people who want to stay connected with you. So I hope that this talk gets you curious about what this particular sonic healing event with Melt is going to be about. And I hope that you'll consider joining us. Again, it's July 18th to the 22nd. It's here in Naples, Florida. Again, bring a friend. The prices for double occupancy are great. I'll make sure to leave the link in the show notes. So share this one with your friends. And as always, Lloyd, I love you so much. Thank you so much for being a part of the journey. I'm so grateful that our paths have crossed yet again. And for those of you guys watching, stay curious, stay open-minded, and stay gangster. And we'll see you on the next podcast. See you soon.
Gangster eye. One love, Queen.
Healing was just a breath away. What stops you from receiving the gifts of sound is your brain. I want you to let your brain do what it wants to do and do not have an emotional attachment to it.
So our body is a fluid system. We make a wave formation, down and up it goes throughout the body. Notice if you freed up any range, decreased any pain. Take a nice breath into your body. Notice how the breath moves throughout your torso.
The reason I came here is to make a daily commitment to do it. But what I found out here on this retreat is how Sue was able to explain everything in a way that made sense to me from both my body and my brain. I will never stop doing this.
The Melt Retreat was transformational. It changed me in ways I didn't expect. I want to go to the Sue Hitzmans of the world to get better. She's better than I even expected, to be honest with you. But what I really love is that she has a heart for healing people. She truly wants to make a difference. She's not selling. She's what I call the doctor of the future.
Join Sue Hitzman and Lloyd Leary for a powerful journey of restoration, renewal, and self-care through melt and sound. Healing was just a breath away.
What stops you from receiving the gifts of sound is your brain. I want you to let your brain do what it wants to do and do not have an emotional attachment to it.
So our body is a fluid system. We make a wave formation, down and up it goes throughout the body. Notice if you freed up any range, decreased any pain. Take a nice breath into your body. Notice how the breath moves throughout your torso.
The reason I came here is to make a daily commitment to do it. But what I found out here on this retreat is how Sue was able to explain everything in a way that made sense to me from both my body and my brain. I will never stop doing this.
The Melt Retreat was transformational. It changed me in ways I didn't expect. I want to go to the Sue Hitzmans of the world to get better. She's better than I even expected, to be honest with you. But what I really love is that she has a heart for healing people. She truly wants to make a difference. She's not selling. She's what I call the doctor of the future.
Join Sue Hitzman and Lloyd Leary for a powerful journey of restoration, renewal, and self-care through melt and sound.